Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bass, and today I've got a bonus video for you. We've got some brand new baits and we're headed out on the water to go fishing. Come along. I'm just headed out to do some fishing today, and I thought I would bring you guys along as just a bonus video. I'm gonna be doing it anyway, and I thought you might enjoy it too. So XZone just recently came out with their whole stealth finesse series, little downsized baits. Yeah, they've got the stealth craw, the stealth minnow, the stealth creature, and the stealth tube. We have been blasting fish on these things, blasting them. You know, we love power fishing. We love fishing aggressive, fast moving baits. We like fishing big baits and swim baits, but sometimes we like downsizing too. It's fun to just get out and catch fish. I've got this haze today. There's chop out on the main lake. Today just feels like a finesse-y day to me, so I came out to do some finesse fishing, to throw these baits. So let's head out here, see if we can get into some fish on some downsized profiles. We'll probably catch some little ones. That's part of bait finesse fishing, that's part of finesse fishing, but who knows? Maybe we'll get a good one along the way too. I have no idea. Let's go fishing. All right, we're gonna kick this thing off just doing some light pitching. I'm just gonna work my way down this wall. Normally I would throw a jig or a full-size creature bait. Today we're throwing a little downsized Texas rig. It works really well. Fish get up on the hard cover here this time of year. I can just pick it apart with that little micro Texas rig, and they just blast it. Little guy, but he got us started. Little largy on that stealth creature. Big or small, we're gonna catch all of them today. We'll take whatever wants to bite. That's the beauty of this little guy on this bait finesse setup. I'm throwing this on that X Pride 6/8 light. With this setup, it doesn't matter how big those fish are, they all pull. What do we have there? Check that crazy guy out. He hammered that creature. I mean, hammered it. I think we'll get into some bigger fish than that today, but it's still fun. We did not get very many bites on that bank. I worked too hard for the size and species of fish we were catching, so I made a move. Now this area does not have a lot of grass or hard cover. It's a lot of exposed open water, and a little bit of grass seems to be fading, so that's pulled the fish to the edge where it transitions and rolls to deep water. So I'm gonna set up on that, see if we can't catch them on the jig or the creature bait or the minnow. We'll see. Got him. Oh, that's a nice fish. Oh, he's in the motor. Get out of there. That is what I'm talking about right there. Check that out. Jigs, big and small, get big bites. That's that Nishini jig. Got that XZone stealth craw on the back. Beautiful, beautiful largemouth. It's awesome. Got him. Another one on that jig. Love it. All these little micro jigs, you know, there's a handful on the market, pair up so perfectly with those little finesse plastics. Now, that craw is amazing. Standalone Texas rig, Ned rig, anything like that. But it's really good on the back of a little jig. Another nice one. Too much fun. That was way out there. Got him. I love fishing this time of year. You know, we're entering that period where the fall bite really gets rocking, but leading up to that, it can be pretty tough. And we have talked a lot about how if you're in a place where grass dies back, fish will pull to hard cover, they'll pull to, you know, docks, lay down trees. If they don't have those available, they pull to the outside edges. That's what's going on here. This outside edge, that grass has died back. And this lake that I'm on, it's actually still got some pretty healthy grass, but some areas have really healthy grass. Some areas the grass dies back. It just depends on the type of grass. And this spot, and the last one I was fishing too, that grass has been dying back. Those fish come out and sit on these outside edges, and a lot of times where that rolls off, you might find rock like chunk rock or wood, stumps, things like that. Those fish just get right on them, and over time you can learn where those things are. And for me, if I line up on these outside edges and just fish that jig, I feel like I'm taking that little package and I'm effectively fishing for the vast majority of the fish that were previously up on a huge flat. So it would have taken me a whole day to fish an entire grassy flat, right? I'd be up there flipping and frogging and throwing reaction baits and picking it apart. And you let that grass die back a little bit, those fish come out, they set up on that edge, and now all those fish are in a much smaller area. And it's not that every fish comes out there, but the fish that do are very targetable. They're very easy to fish for, and a lot of them are willing to bite. And then like today, I told you, I felt like this was a finessey day. My conditions were not great, but it's a misnomer if you think that finessing means you can't still get really good bites, right? That couple fish ago, I mean, we got a big one. That's just the way it is. These fish are together this time of year. They're not necessarily grouped by size. You can catch a dink, you can catch the wrong species, and you can catch a big one just back to back to back. Super fun doing it on this smaller stuff. Little yellow bass on the minnow. Hey, buddy. Got that minnow set up on that little Great Lakes finesse head. Just a tiny little downsized profile. When those fish are in a funk, when the weather's not right, it gets them. That fish just ate the jig while I was winding it back to the boat. That's a cool one. He's got a tongue patch like a spotted bass. He's got very unique colors. My bite had kind of shut down. I stopped getting bit on the jig. I threw a tube for a while, didn't get bit on that. So I put the creature bait on the back of the jig just to try a little bit different profile. That was the first bite, and it was while I was winding it up.
There's one.
Nice little largie. Man, that is fun. He thumped it.
There's
I switched. I came back to that edge that I was on earlier. I switched from a jig to just the creature bait by itself. And I rigged it on an EWG Ned head, so it's weedless. It works. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Hopefully you guys had fun coming along today. You know, today was nothing fancy. It's a bonus video. I was going fishing anyway, and I thought you would enjoy coming along. I had a blast out here. You know, we basically just lived out the things we've been talking about lately. Fish pulling to outside edges, fish pulling to hard cover, and then just going after them with, you know, creature baits, jigs, things like that. It was fun doing it with the little tiny baits. You know, the little creature, the craw. There's so many different ways to rig this stuff. I mean, we caught them on basically a Ned head, a jig, a Texas rig, a guppy head. It's just fun fishing. And the biggest thing is when you go out and you finesse, that's just matching the conditions. It's not like I've given up on catching good ones, right? We caught some good fish today on that downsize stuff. And when we get them on the downside stuff, I mean, it's a battle. It's a lot of fun. That big one had me wrapped in the trolling motor for a second, and that's not a good situation. But I had a blast catching that fish as well as the rest of them. Again, in the video description, I'll link all this stuff, all the different stealth finesse baits and the heads I'm using, some of the rods and reels I used to fish them effectively today. If you guys enjoyed coming along, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you soon.